Okay, so I am Norfeza Makno, chairperson for this virtual session. Okay, and co-chairperson will be Mr. Nosariza Johari. Can I have hi from Mr. Nosariza?
Hi,
Yeah.
welcome to everybody. Welcome.
Okay.
Welcome.
And also support team Encik Muhammad Shafiq Abdul Rahman. Shafiq, can I hear your voice?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Everyone.
Okay. So this is session 3, room 3. And for this presentation, we are going to have basically 4 presenter. Okay, that will be presented according to the list of presentation list. Okay. Okay. So please, I would like to welcome again all the presenter, all the panels, and all the participants to the virtual sessions of community-based tourism and interdisciplinary. Okay, so before we start, I would like to read brief housekeeping rules pertaining to the presentations. So for all participants and attendees, kindly mute your microphone during the presentations. And if you have any questions, okay, feel free to type the questions in the chat box or unmute your mic for the question. And for the presenter, okay, so you will be given 10 minutes for the presentations and 5 minutes for Q&A session. Okay, before that, so for your informations, all the presentation will be judged by a panel for best presenter and also for best presenter as well as the for best presentation paper. Okay. All right. So before we start, okay, can I have kindly on your camera?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for photo session.
Session. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, please on your camera,
So
please. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
okay.
Okay, done.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay, continue, Doctor.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Dr. Hazif.
It's okay. I just want to try the
Okay.
video just
One more,
now.
Doctor, can
Maybe
one more time,
one more.
one more time, Doctor Razi, can?
Well,
A
not really
must do
One more
well
time.
question.
because I'm wearing.
It's okay, Doctor.
Okay.
All
Okay,
right.
one more time.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay, one more time.
Okay. One more time. Okay.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, done. Thank
All
you. Thank you,
right.
Dr.
Thank
Razif. Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Okay. So now 2:25. I think shouldn't be a problem if we start. Is it okay? Is it okay? Can we start now? Or you still want to be at 2:30?
Made.
Okay, so probably we can. Okay, I think we should start now. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So all the best for the presenter. All the best to all presenter.
Okay, good luck.
Okay. And good luck.
Good luck.
Okay. So just be yourself. Okay.
Okay. Enjoy,
Please
Doctor.
enjoy. Okay.
Enjoy.
Sit back and enjoy. Okay. So, all right. So, without further ado, okay, I would like to call Muhammad Nazrin Shah to present paper on contactless payment approach, e-wallet usage. Okay, please welcome Cik Muhammad Nazrin Shah.
Okay, can you see my slide?
Yeah.
Clear, Mr.
Okay,
Nazrin.
without further ado, Assalamualaikum and good evening to Chairperson Associate Professor D.S. Dr. Nofeza, Co-Chairperson Mr. Nur Sariza, support teams, panels and Google Meet. I'm Muhammad Nazrin. Today I will present about the examining e-wallet usage intention among food and beverage customers. So, what is e-wallet? E-wallet is an electronic payment in which the customer use mobile communication system and mobile device to initiate the authorized or complete the transaction. This one is by IJCHT-21. It is a significant position in the electronic commerce section due to the rapid growth of mobile technology and the large network of mobile phone user. Today, most food and beverage customers across the world and e-wallet is an payment method. However, its awareness among Malaysian customers is lacking. Has been a high emphasis on personal safety during the COVID-19 outbreak, which lead to the behavioral modification. The usage of the e-wallet allow for the social separation, which help to limit the spread of the COVID-19 virus. Furthermore, Penang is on a way becoming a cashless society, with e-wallet being promoted to make a payment in a local market and food and beverage outlet more convenient. Due with that situation, the objective of this paper is to identify the relationship between the perceived usefulness towards intention to use e-wallet usage among food and beverage customer during pandemic COVID-19, and to identify the relationship between the perceived ease of use toward intention to use e-wallet usage among food and beverage customer during pandemic COVID-19. For the theoretical background and development of hypothesis, e-wallet similarly to a physical wallet allow the user to keep the electronic money that should be top up using their mobile banking. Behavioral intention to use is an individual may describe as the path of action that he or she intend to take. This one is by Zhou et al. 2010. For the next is the technology. Next is the technology acceptance model. Which this is the theory. Okay, under the technology acceptance model has been divided by two, which is perceived usefulness and perceived ease of use. Term has been applied in recent study for forecast whether or not user would be accept e-wallet technology. Next is the perceived usefulness by Al-Maruf and Al-Amar 2018. Establish a significant relationship between perceived usefulness and behavioral intention to acquire and use a certain technology by adopting the technology acceptance model. Next is perceived ease of use. The perceived ease of use has been identified as an important predictor of using adopting technology. From the theoretical background has been developed two hypotheses. Which is hypothesis one is perceived usefulness has a major impact on user intention to use e-wallet in food and beverage establishment, and second is the perceived ease of use has a major impact on user intention to use e-wallet in food and beverage establishment. Right. Okay. Next, we move to the methodology. For the methodology, this research paper is designed purposive sampling by utilized by conduct a cross-sectional survey with only respondents from Penang who had used the e-wallet in their mobile phone being asked by screening question. We used the G-Power software was used to calculate the sample size for this study. There are 4 predictors. All items are adapted from the prior study using the 5-point Likert scale. It's a total of 156 legitimate responses were received. The data analysis we examine by SPSS version 21.0 software, and statistical analysis technique. This is the result, which is this research completely 156, which is male is 37.5%, female is 40.5%. Okay. For the result, for the percent correlation, between perceived usefulness and intention to use, the R is a 0.540 with a significant value of p-value bigger than alpha value, indicate that p-value perceived usefulness influence customer intention to use an e-wallet. Almaroof M. Amal 2018 established a significant relationship between perceived usefulness and intention to use e-wallet. A multiple regression analysis was used to see the perceived usefulness and perceived ease of use could predict whether or Penang type would utilize an e-wallet. The regression findings shows that the model to perceived usefulness and perceived ease of use explain more than 34% of the variance and was significant predictor when they compared to the older model. The F value is 2156 equal to 40.590. P-value is 0.005. This indicates that the remaining 66% may influenced by other factor to use an e-wallet. As a result, the favorable impact of perceived usefulness and perceived ease of use, the information to keep using electronic e-wallet have been proven. This finding was supported by Berry and Jen 2018, who had hypothesized that perceived ease of use and perceived usefulness has a substantial favorable influence on intention to use. Okay, last but not least, for the conclusion, in general, there are an impact for perceived usefulness and convenience of use, the intention to use adopting of e-wallet among Penang residents. Customers are more to utilize e-wallet service if they believe they are consistent with their value and behavior. For theoretical perspective, this research may help contribute to the body of literature significantly on the e-wallet usage by identifying factors that influence customer willingness to use e-wallet. From the practical perspective, food and beverage business may benefit from the cashless system because it allows them to improve their sales and develop their business by giving the customer simple. That's all from me. Thank you. If any question, this is my email and my contact number. Thank you.
Sharp 10 minutes.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Nazrin.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I'm now open to the floor for the questions. Do you have any question for Mr. Nazrin?
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Can you hear me?
Waalaikumsalam, yes.
Okay. First of all, I would like to greet first the chairperson for this seminar, Associate Professor Dr. Norfiza Muhammad Noor, Cik Nurza Reza Johari, support team Muhammad Shafiq, and the other panels, Dr. Muhammad Razif, and also all the presenters. Congratulations. Okay, I'm Dila. Okay, I'm Nura Dila Abbas from Prodelim Muazzam Shah, panel for this session. Okay, I would like to ask questions to the presenter, Nazrin, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Your study is about the examining e-wallet usage intention among F&B customers. All right. So may I know who are the participants in your findings? I mean, your sample. Are they students, workers, or public people that using the e-wallet in your study? Thank you. What are the backgrounds of your studies? The sample.
My participant is the e-wallet usage Uh, Sorry.
Okay, yes. My question is, who are the participants in your study for this study? I mean, are they among the students, the workers, or the public peoples?
Is for my sample is public people, for the public, as long as they are
All
Penang
right.
side. Yeah.
So you do this study online, isn't it? Your questionnaires. How do
Yeah.
you distribute it by online?
Yeah, and distribute via Google Form, via
Uh-huh.
Google Form, and I post it in Facebook and several group, WhatsApp group. Yes, Mia, Yadila, do you hear me?
All right. Yes, I can hear you. All right. Another questions before I pass to Dr. Muhammad Razif.
Yeah.
What do you think about the future of e-wallet? As you know that currently we are in a pandemic situation, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the future of e-wallets after these COVID-19 situations around us? Maybe you can conclude in your own
In
perspective. Yes.
Okay, in my opinion, the future of e-wallet for me, I'm also a heavy user of the e-wallet. So where I can see here, the future of e-wallet is will be spread well. So we don't know how to end, how the pandemic will end. So I hope this the practice of using the e-wallet may help the spread of the COVID-19, and for me, the e-wallet is easy to use. Yeah, it's very convenient for the user and help to spread the COVID-19. Yeah.
Okay, that's all from me.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Nooralila. So, is there any other questions? Okay, Chef Ahmad Ridwan, feel free to, yeah,
Okay, Assalamualaikum.
Wassalamualaikum.
Salam.
Okay, I just only have one question. It's pertaining the location that you focus on your study. It
Yeah.
only focuses on Penang only, right?
Yeah.
May I know why you choose only Penang population for such study?
Oh, for the study, because I choose Penang because there is an article from the Star, from the Star, uh, 20 sorry, 2020. Yeah. Can you see my slide? My sharing?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I do this study because of the article from the Star said that Penang became a cashless state by March 2020. So that's why I choose this area to investigate how far the Penang use the e-wallet usage.
Okay.
That's why I choose
So,
Penang as my research location.
okay. So I mean, in the future, like if we still have the opportunity to generalize this study to in a much more scale. I mean, in terms of Malaysia itself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in my point of view, was I'm expecting that if you choose Penang, usually usually have some data showing that Penang population may have the highest usage of e-wallet uh, based on the index or data. Um, I mean, yeah, but the result I mean, in the future, you can generalize it to in terms of generalize it in terms of Malaysia as a location. That's my 2 cents. Thank you very much.
Okay,
Thank you,
thank
Cik
you very
Ridwan.
much, Ahmad Ridwan. Okay, so basically, Nazrin just graduated from master ni, and the project is on e-wallet usage. Basically, we do. Actually, I'm the supervisor of Nazrin. Okay, and okay. So basically, we managed to get that. This is a preliminary results prior to the study, and we managed to get a mediator. Mediator, and also we managed to get 400 participants. So probably a good suggestion from Cik Amaritwan to be extend in terms of Malaysia context. So thank you very much. Okay, so I think okay, thank you Nazrin. Thank you and
Thank you, Dr.
congratulations for the presentations. Okay, so probably we can move to the next presenter. Okay, can I have, okay, I'm looking for Mr. Supawan. Do we have Mr. Supawan? Okay, if not, then probably Dr. Mora, are you ready?
Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
all right.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the next presenter, I would like to welcome Dr. Mora Cott for paper titled A Critical Look at Community-Based Tourism Development in Thailand. Please welcome Dr. Mora. The floor is yours.
Okay. Okay. Good afternoon, panels and my fellow researchers. I'm Dr. Moroko Ditapichai from Songkhla Ratchapat University, Thailand. I'm very pleased to be here today to present my research, a critical look at community-based tourism development in Thailand, which is from my 2-year research fieldwork. And today in my presentation, I will summarize the Thai CBT Deep South development, and then I'll talk about the reflective practice from my experience in CBT development in the Deep South Thailand, mainly in Yala Province. And I found 3 common challenges in this CBT development and also initiative according to my fieldwork. And finally, I'll conclude and share some opportunities for future research in this area. So first, let me briefly give you a short description of community-based tourism. CBT center on the involvement of local residents in planning, implementing, controlling, and sharing the benefits of tourism development in community. And in Thailand, tourism depends on various community resources in propelling Thai economies. And we have National Tourism Policy Committee that provide the criteria for strong and sustainable CBT development. And if you're interested in these criteria, you can Google criteria for Thailand's community-based tourism development. It's in 2019, and you can find the booklet on the internet. It's download for free. So this research is based on the collaborative project between the designated area for sustainable tourism as administrations, or DASA, which is the government unit that taking care of those sustainable development, including CBT, and also my university, Songkhla Ratchapat University, during 2019 to 2020 that I participated in this project in the 3 provinces, Yala, Pattani, Narathiwat provinces. The project includes the potential assessment, CBT planning and developing, and also the tourism product development. However, in this paper that I'm going to present, it's only based on Yala Province because that is my my field work at that time. So let me give you some research context. In this Yala Province, we involve 4 CBT communities. And these 4 community include บ้านจุฬาภรณ์พัฒนา 9 and บ้านจุฬาภรณ์พัฒนา 10, บ้านตาพะยาว and บ้านอายเวง. This village has a wide range of tourism offers, including Halabala Wildlife Sanctuaries, Bang Lang Dam, Ayaweng Mist of sea mist, and also there's a local museums for Malayan communities time, and they also provide some multicultural events and traditional food of Muslim, Buddhist, and Chinese Thai. So in this study, we focus on the attempt of local leaders and the residents of that village in participating in CBT initiative during the series of these 2 years field work. And we have this stage 1, stage 2 during 2019 and 2020 that involved a series of visits from different times to follow that CBT activities from planning, implementing, and monitoring. And this one including observation, some focus group discussion, and some semi-structured interviews. It's like a process that we want to see, and we follow those the criteria that I've shown you, the Thailand CBT criteria that I showed you in previous slide. And this stage 3, it's like reflections of the 2 years CBT fieldwork. So the reflexive practice, I would like to clarify more. It's the activities by which people take the work itself as an object of reflections to generate the understanding of the situation of phenomena. So in this reflections, focus on the challenges that associate with the CBT development during this 2-year fieldwork, and that come to the 3 common challenges that I found for across these 4 communities. The first one is the lack of knowledge and capabilities in tourism management. So these projects really echo the lack of knowledge and capabilities in terms of planning, focus on purpose, teamwork, communication, creation of tourism experience, and market the product to the customer. The majority of local leaders are elder, usually aged over 50. So the most of the CBT products in this village are based on natural resources and heritage. For example, forest, historical tour, and it's easily to develop, but there's still barrier in product design, experience designs, and also the management and expertise skills in order to market their CBT product. So these findings support the CBT literature that we really need to have the business skill trainings for the success of CBT. So the next common challenge is who is the decision maker for the communities. We found that only few local leaders. I found that only few local leaders that they have voices in planning, implementing, and managing the tourism activities in the CBT communities. And this role of local leader as a key decision maker, it's kind of problematic because the other residents may not share the same values or goals in order to develop the CBT activities. For example, there are some disagreements between young resident and old resident in terms of the tourism's experience design, but because we are in the we have these culture and norms that we have to follow the elder. So usually the decision is based on the elders, leaders decision. And this is also aligned with the CBT literature that emphasize that community unity and cohesion is a key driver to facilitate the success of CBT, but we still not really reached the unity and cohesion if we still have only few people that make a decision for the whole community. And finally, I found constraint to local controls. There are some constraint to the control and power relations between the communities and external stakeholders because of laws and regulation. And all these four communities have only little control in managing their natural resources to facilitate tourism activities. So there's some intervention of regulations or long-term support from both a local government level and the central level in order to overcome this barrier. And this one is really bring me to the conclusion that in this finding, I highlight the three findings: inadequate capabilities, existing structure, inequalities in decision making, and the power relation as a critical barrier of the CBT development. And this in agreement with the CBT literatures that showing those factors that facilitates and inhibit CBT development. There's some potential opportunities for CBT research in the future. For example, the government policy, digitalization that can bring people and community together, and the role of community norms or rules in the success or failure of the CBT development. And also, finally, of course, we're gonna have to look at the change in tourism behaviors because of COVID-19. And that is all my presentation today. Thank you for your attention. And if you have any questions, please.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Mora. It's a very interesting. Okay, and yet I can't wait to explore more. Okay, so now I'm open to the floor for Q&A session. Is there any question from the floor?
Hi, Dr. Mora. Congratulations up to this
Thank you.
presentation. I think it's a very, very interesting study, and we are so happy here in Malaysia. So at least we cannot travel to Thailand now, but we can view you through online.
Yeah, virtual.
Yes, virtual. It seems like we are traveling now to Yala. All right, my question is just simple questions. Dr. Mora has explained about the study has been done in southern Thailand, in southern part of Thailand, which is convinced of three provinces: Yala, Pattani, and Narathiwat. How about the study of this finding? Does it relate to only Yala, and how about the other two provinces? May you explain? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for your question. Actually, the reason that I don't really include those two provinces to this study because first of all, that's not my main fieldwork. In those other of my colleagues, they do that. So because this paper is a very, like, let's say a mini paper that I would like to summarize my experience of this CBT fieldwork and try to explain what I see the critical point that we have to address in order to make a success in CBT development from my point of view. But yes, there's also those communities in another 2 provinces share the same challenges, even though it's not really the same, but definitely for the point number 3, the constraint, all of 3 provinces have the same constraint to local control, because there's some rule and regulations that not really in a favor of tourism CBT product offer activities, I mean. And also they also share pretty much the same as the decision makers, because you know that in the ancient culture, and I think that might be the same in Malaysia or in Indonesia as well, that we respect elders. So when we talk about the community, so elders usually have more voice than the younger, and this is definitely shows in my study and also in others field work that I have opportunity to be in Pattani and Narathiwat as well. But that one I have to ask my colleague to write another paper and then include their name in it, because that's their field, right? Yes, but of course, there's these 3 common challenges that we found across these 3 provinces. Thank you. I hope that I answered your question.
Yes, very, very answerable. Thank you very much. That's all from me, Dr. Nurfiza.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Nadika. Okay, probably I just have one question. So
Yes.
based on your results, means that you identified 3 main challenges. Okay, so can you do you have any suggestion to overcome those challenges? Because this probably can be adopted or can be as a useful information for researcher in Malaysia as well.
Okay. I think first of all, for the first point, the capability. I think this point is quite addressable and easy than other 2, right? Definitely, as I mentioned in my presentation, that we definitely have to have this training, the business trainings, the proper one, in order to provide their knowledge and also practice for them. And it's also good if it can make a clear, let's say, training program that fit for the CBT village. So there's a few study. I think it's also a study from Malaysia as well, that I think it's last year, 2020. If I don't really remember the name of researcher, but in this paper they discuss about the program, the training program for CBT, and that might be a good start. But of course, not only the training program, but if there's some support from not only the government, because I'm not so sure the Malaysian have the same situation in Thailand. The CBT usually have support from the government, but the government, they don't know how to do business. So if they include the non-government section, for example, the private section, and then they work together with the communities, that might be a good opportunity for knowledge transfer from the private sector, that they are good in doing business to the community. And this is for the first challenge that I think it it kind of easy to address. And the second challenge, I don't have a clear suggestions for this because it's our culture. So and in the future research, I also think that it's good to take a look at the role of culture and norms of communities that probably as a factor that that influence the success or failure of the CBT development. But for the third point, yes, the intervention of rule and regulation is required in order to make it possible to promote the CBT community. Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mora. It's very insightful. Thank you very much. I
Thank you.
think we can proceed to the next presenter. And once again, oh, okay, one more question.
Oh, one more
Okay,
question.
okay, February. Okay, I think I should allow. Okay, Chef Ahmad Ridwan.
Hello, doctor.
Yes.
I'm very interested on when you said that the community leader have more more decision making power in their community within that certain south area of Thailand. I just wondering if their decision making align with what the government offer them for the development of CBT in your point of view. Thank you.
I would say there is there's a bargaining and negotiations going on because the government these three provinces, as you may know, that there's special situations going on for almost 20 years already. So the government really take lead in all development, right? But the local leaders, they also not really follow all of the government orders. They try to negotiate, but the success of negotiations or bargaining, it's also depend on whether the issue is a hot issue or the cold issue. And I think that is all I can comment.
Dr. Nofisa, can I just want to have opinion from Dr. Mora?
Okay, sure. Feel free.
Dr. Mora, how are you doing, Saudika again? First of all, thank you for your nice presentation. I really enjoyed the presentation, but because, sorry, I have to meeting here right now. Okay, because of, I also have one working relationship with my friends in Thailand, in southern part of Thailand. And what I would say is that the way you're presenting is like something that I have heard before. When we talk about this community-based tourism, then we foresee this as the problems that faced by people in southern part of Thailand, as well as it persists for many years. So that's why I would say that we have been discussing about this area, and we can say that maybe the area in southern part of Thailand are more effective or efficient in agro-based tourism as compared to community-based tourism. So that's why what we try to, maybe in the future, maybe we have, because like people in Malaysia, we always look at Thailand, people from southern part of Thailand, in terms of agriculture. So that's why when we go there, maybe we can learn so many things in agro-based products, and maybe you can stay there for a while. And what do you think, if let's say in the future, for this type of collaboration between Malaysia and Thailand, for example, like after this COVID-19 over, and we hope it will be over very soon, and because definitely I will travel to southern part of Thailand, and I'd like to meet my friends there, and we would like to discuss, we would like to resume talks, resume the research that we have been discussing before. So do you think it's good for us that if maybe we can just straight away go to agro-based tourism as compared to community-based tourism? Because I've been there, my students have been there for one time, and we can see that community-based tourism really rely on the students, university students. They go there, they have they go for visiting and also for CSR with the community. So that kind of community-based tourism that really become the product for this southern part of Thailand. So that's why I say maybe we have to change the way we want to do things. So what do you think about it?
That's very interesting questions because the community tourism that I'm involved, you know, it's not really in the field of the CSR or the students that visit the communities and do some project for the communities. This the in these 4 provinces or these not 4 provinces, 3 provinces in this project, we try to build it as a real community-based tourism. That means the real tourist that visit it. So, but of course, that's still an issue because another point that I don't really mention is the quality of service and safety, and that one I left over because I left out of this presentation because in each village they really have different nature and different product. So I don't want to generalize in terms of quality of service or safety. But yes, for your point of view that we can do some collaboration between Malaysia and Thailand for these CBT tourism, it's interesting. For example, there's another project that I'm doing with my colleague. It's the the UNESCO Geopark between the Stone and Langkawi. That one we are trying to see if we can do this collaboration and make it as a tourism route, but that is another scope because that one is not really CBT, so the CBT probably inside as a part of one of the offer that we can show to tourists, either the tourists, the inbound or outbound tourists that come to the destination. But yes, the agro-tourism also very popular in Thailand now. But the agro-tourism itself in Thailand is not really strong yet because the agro-tourism in Thailand is usually for the private or the family-owned business. It's not really the community itself involved as a group. But I think the CBT, it's kind of having a broadened meaning and broadened what you call in spectrum, that you can see it as a group of people, a whole community itself, or it can be a family, but there's some part of it has to involve the communities to take part in tourism as well. I don't really have a clear answer at the end for you, but that is what I can come up now.
It's nice. It's nice to hear from you. Kap Kum Kap, say all the best for your future research. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Razif. Okay, so thank you very much to Dr. Mora. It's very interesting and a lot more to explore, and a lot of things can be collaborated. Okay, so for the next presenter, I would like to call Mr. Muhammad Hafiz Azizan. Okay, for the topic on Langkawi UNESCO Global Geopark, Regeneration Strategy and Natural Heritage Site Environmental Conservation Post-COVID-19. Please welcome Mr. Muhammad Hafiz Azizan.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good afternoon. Thank you for the Associate Professor Dr. Nur Faiza for the chairperson, and for the supporting teams, and again with UITM Pulau Pinang. Congratulations for the IJCHT for 2021 and our fellow researcher. So today I'm going to present about my research regarding about Langkawi UNESCO Global Geopark, the regeneration strategy and natural heritage site, environmental conservation post-COVID-19. Okay, so the concept and the definition of the research itself, I'm focusing about the ecotourism, whereby the ecotourism, which is, it goes for two parts to support the social economic development, which is, it requires certain favorable policy and efficient implementation, whereby it will involve the local authorities, government agencies, and this particular research is focusing on the community, the millennial generation. Okay, for the social development, economic development, I'm focusing on the three main components, which is job, community development, and infrastructure. Well, ecotourism is responsible tourism to natural areas, which is conserving the environment and improving the well-being of the local. So we want to focus about the local community itself, how the ecotourism can increase the income and so on. And at the same time, not to forget in terms of the conservation, we are trying to, the research is try to see the community feedback in terms of the preserving what remain or preventing further loss, in terms of how to manage the biodiversity under severe threat. And on the regeneration side is recovering what is lost, come with ecological and economic consequences. Okay, so since the topic itself is focusing on the post-COVID-19 matter, so we did some reading and we did some interview session through online, and we managed to get 10 respondents altogether. So the content that we try to dig in from the respondent itself about, we want to know further about the COVID-19 impact in terms of the investment elements. What does the local community want from the government? And then in terms of stakeholder wise, since we already know that Langkawi is a tourism island, and at the same time, not to forget that we still have our local community, which is generating the income from the tourism activity. Okay, so from the COVID-19 impacts, it does impact the heritage side, and definitely the heritage practices. And then the heritage practices such as performing some art, social practices, ritual, festivities, and traditional craftsmanship. So in terms of the investment element that we are focusing on the land, the capital, human resource, heritage resource, and political commitment, whereby the ecotourism is a sort of tourism which is supporting all the elements that all the human beings that live together in the island itself. So the stakeholder that involving with the impact of COVID-19 is the heritage site worker, the tour operators, the tourists on site, and the local community, of course. So we managed to get 10 respondents, 6 male and 4 female. We are doing the computer mediated communication, CMC, which is through WhatsApp and through WhatsApp web, the secure for the internet mediated research. Okay, this particular practices I take from Houston 2010. We managed to, because since that we cannot go to Langkawi, so we have to do online through WhatsApp platform, okay, in order to get the feedback. So 10 individual, which is in providing in-depth and detailed information on sustainable development and environmental conservation plan. Okay, so a semi-structured online interview is conducted under 6 different divisions, and those who have role in and live nearby to Langkawi UNESCO Global Geopark. The allocation of interviewees according to the division is given in the writing itself, in the figure 1, whereby I try to simplify the result in the table that being shown on the screen. Okay, so five main question. How does the COVID-19 impact the services or the activity at the Langkawi Geopark? How has the community reacted to the challenges? What are the improvement innovation that can be introduced? Do you think that COVID-19 is forever change government services and methods? Main challenge to the regeneration and conservation activities. So the best feedback, most of the feedback is quite common from the community itself. But I focusing on the question number 3, which is what sort of improvement that the local community want from the local authority or from the government of Kedah or government of Malaysia through tourism tourism ministry. So they want some introduction of new services, since we cannot we cannot practice like before. Many tourists come in and out, inbound, outbound, and so on. So they want some new, such as new services that are being introduced by the government. For example, such as a comprehensive and experiential, personalized and private tour of small tourist group, because the local community found that since COVID-19 itself, we cannot manage to meet in person too many people at one time. So they want a small size tour group size. Okay, maybe some platform of work in nature, some set up office in nature for place for working. Maybe in such as inviting maybe international tourists to come and work in Langkawi, since we don't have problem for the internet wise. So they want the government to set up some sort of office, eco office or something like that. And then outdoor camping site, such as or trailer park for social distancing while enjoying the nature. And at the same time, in terms of technology wise, they really ask the government to combine a traditional and new services all in one, not to forget the traditional practices, but at the same time combine all in one, such as all the information about tourism service sector all in one website. The pre-order booking with good promotion, maybe we've done that previously. There are a few websites like Trivago, Agoda, and so on. Implementation of virtual tours, such as at heritage site. Development on online sales platform, okay, such as the merchandise, local product, and so on. Maybe few feedback from the respondent. They really want a good platform for the local community to inform the tourists, the potential tourists, what do they have in terms of services and so on. And then at the same time, not to forget that they want the government to monitor from time to time, such as whatever changes that happen in terms of COVID-19 wise and so on. Then the last one, the third one for question number 3, which is what are the main innovation? They would like to have some integration of physical and digital spaces, such as innovation of tools for reservation and entrance, like what we have done before, new access of strategy and platform, and secure website strategy. It seems that the feedback from the respondent itself is quite overwhelming, because the respondent, 10 of the respondent came from the heritage worker, tour operator, tourists on site, and the local community. From the writing itself, through the research, I personally found that there are still lack of reference for the latest reference. Only the one that I attend in Global Geopark by Catherine Chang, Head of Global Corporate Social Responsibility and Community Relation at Expedia Group in Culture Tourism, COVID-19 Recovery, Resiliency and Regeneration 2020, which is they done some talk in the web online through Global Geopark website. They are talking about what was which the country that involved with Geopark, Global Geopark, which is award by UNESCO. What other countries, what the government should do, the local community should do in order to improve. Since globally we have many numbers of workers which is relate to the Global Geopark, and because of the COVID-19 itself, it's stuck in the middle. And through the research itself, we can see that it can serve because we still are doing the research ongoing, since this particular topic is a grant topic. So some sort of theoretical implication through social exchange theory, okay, in terms of community participation. We really need the community to support the activities, since we didn't have the actual answer when the COVID-19 going to stop and so on. So it seems that from Baum et al. 2000, people can engage in variety of social activity through a variety of official and informal social network. So social network plays a big role in terms of improving whatever it is in terms of environmental conservation and the regeneration activity. So due to from the feedback itself, the local community is questioning about the timeline to endemicity, changes of government policy and investment priorities, because it seems that after post-COVID-19, there are some amount of money that really need to be invested by the government. Some sort of changes in policy and certain implementation from traditional to digital. The importance of inclusivity of millennial. Yes, the feedback from the respondent, they really want the voice of millennial is there, because they claim that the millennial is those who are going to support whatever activity that happen in Langkawi itself. Not to forget the generation X, Y, or whatsoever, but they want a good platform for the millennial in order to voice out changing some ideas and so on. In terms of role of formal and informal social network, since that due to COVID-19 wise, everything was done online, so social network play a big role, such as certain platforms such as Facebook, Instagram and so on. And then they also want collaboration and commitment from private sector as well, not to say that the private sector only come and get whatever income that due to the business practices, but they want the private sector to give support from what the local community want. Okay, I think that's all for my presentation. Maybe it's too simple and so on.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hafiz. Okay, so now Langkawi is open to bubble travel. Okay.
Inshallah, 16 September.
On the 16th September. Okay. All right. So I'm now open to the floor for question session, Q&A sessions.
Hello, Hafiz.
Assalamualaikum. Ya, Doktor.
Sorry, I look messy now. Okay. First of all, congratulations for a very nice and comprehensive presentation. I really like your presentation. Really comprehensive and.
Terima kasih, Doktor.
So please, if let's say it's possible, send it to journal, because we want people outside there to know more about Langkawi. But looking at the way you presented just now, the points that you have been highlighted, which is very cool and interesting. And I just want to know, because of this natural heritage site or the Geopark or Killing Geopark, so that one, I think because that is something available, readily available for Langkawi. And that's why what they need to do is just to maintain the Killing Geopark. But what they are doing right now, so they are developing products around the geoparks, which in the future might destroy the geopark. Even how hard they try to maintain it, and I would say eventually it will destroy. It will be destroyed. So you got what I mean? So
true,
that's why
very true, Doctor.
The point that you had mentioned just now, because the product is natural, the product is natural, but somehow you want to build, another products surrounding Killing Geopark. And by right, what Langkawi should focus is more on the green lush rainforest as well as the beach, so that we don't want to tap on the natural part, because you will distract or disturb the natural, the flora and fauna that are there, something like hawk, eagle. Langkawi is famous for the eagle, the white eagle. So the conflicting points that I presented right now. So what you feel that you want to suggest for the, because Langkawi, there are so many authorities. So you have to go to LADA, you also need to go through the local government, and then the Ministry of Tourism, Ministry of Finance. So there are so many authorities that you have to go through when you want to, bring something up. So that's why, what do you think about this, issues or dilemma that we are facing, that you are currently facing? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Muhammad Rafi. Very insightful question. First of all, we do have some, because whenever we communicate with the local community, they keep on telling what they want from the inside, because they already can see it clearly. The government, the local authority, they are not sit in one table in order to discuss, in order to preserve and so on, because due to the technological platform, it seems that the local community knew what happened to the Langkawi, because as they already know that UNESCO Global Geopark is an award platform, being awarded by the UNESCO to Langkawi, and then it's not going to be manned forever. It's going to be audited from year to year, and they said that they're a bit worried, but they can't do much. So that's why they suggest to me from the interview session. They said that please create some platform for the millennial generation to voice out what the millennial generation want, because they keep on claiming that the problem arise just because of the management wise. I know that LADA got some interest with the government, and at the same time the federal government need to communicate with LADA and align with Kedah government in order to proceed whatever it is in Langkawi. So I did attend some talk from Global Geopark under UKM, University of Malaysia, and University Kebangsaan Malaysia. They are talking the same thing, because it's not easy to preserve what we have, like what Dr. Muhammad Razif tells us just now. So from my point of view, what I do agree with the feedback from the respondent that they want all these authority, the government itself, sit in the same table discussing about preserving, not in terms of discussing how to develop Langkawi to be famous or whatsoever, to increase more income to the government.
Thank you, terima kasih. Terima kasih for the response. Yeah. All the best for your future taking send journal to journal.
Terima kasih.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Razif. Yes, Dr. Mora?
Yes.
You may proceed with the question.
Okay. Thank you for your presentation. It's interesting to see how the local people think about what's next for the Langkawi to after COVID. And that's an interesting point that I see from your presentation. One point that I would like to ask is about the millennials, because you said that from the interview, they want to include people in, let's say, the millennials or younger people to participate in the Langkawi Geopark tourism, right? Is there any practical way to do that you can share for us to see? Because that is also a part of tourism in Thailand, that we kind of having some issue as well, that there's some gap between generations. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mora, for your question. Actually, there are some because in Langkawi itself, we have University Kebangsaan Malaysia. They are doing research mainly on the geopark itself. So at the same time, they also provide a platform for the millennial and local community together with the university student work together in order to preserve the geopark itself. But the platform itself is not strong enough to carry the words from the Langkawi to the federal government in order to make some better changes. But they do provide a platform for the millennial, the school students, for the university student, for the local community. But the platform is not strong enough. They have to change from the existing platform, make it formally, and bring to the government in order to make some changes. They're still struggling, by the way.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Is that sorry? Can I ask? Is that the social media platform or other type of platform that you are mentioned about that?
Yes.
Informal.
For me myself, I did follow Global Geopark on Facebook, Langkawi Global Geopark, and at the same time for the Langkawi Global Geopark, and at the same time for the global attachment itself, we do have website for Global Geopark. That's why I got some information in 2020 talk, online talk given by Catherine Chen. That one mainly under Global Geopark, focusing on the Global Geopark itself. Because as we already know that UNESCO is awarding the cert itself. It's not going to mend forever. But so far, feedback that I heard from those who are very active in Global Geopark, they said only Thailand can manage to preserve whatever it is, still strong and still, compared to Malaysia itself still struggling.
We're still waiting for the next. I think next year. That's the next round, and not so sure. But I'm not really doing research on global geopark like the in depth. I just involved in part of it, just tiny part.
Yes,
Thank you.
true. So do I. Actually, I'm not really focusing on Global Geopark. I'm doing about the local community environmental conservation at the island tourism itself, which is focusing mainly on the social exchange theory. Still looking forward how social exchange theory can support the environmental conservation at island tourism. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other questions from the participant?
Okay. Hi, Hafiz.
Hi, Doctor.
Congratulations.
Thank
Okay,
you, Doctor.
just one simple questions. Okay, last one, I think. Can you explain further on democratizations of innovation and policy that you have stated in your slides?
Okay. Thank you,
Yes,
Doctor.
thank you. That's it.
Actually, the terms that I including about the policy wise itself, it's just a feedback from the respondent. They really want some strong policy that make up by the government, which is mainly for the global geopark itself in Langkawi. If doctor asks about that, the content about the policy itself, I will look further in terms of doing some reading to know more exactly the policy which is talking about the global geopark. Right now, I'm sorry, I can't explain because I only go at the surface itself.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nordila. Okay, so one last questions. Is there any? I open for last questions. Okay, basically, Mrs. Octavarina unable to do the presentation due to the health conditions, and we may not proceed with the next presentation. And I'm still waiting for Mr. Supawan. I don't think, okay, only us in okay, each and every one of us already presented. I think we come to end of the session. Okay, and I really hope that everyone enjoy and gain benefits. Perhaps we can do some collaboration for the future, and we really hope that COVID will be over soon. And I think that's all from me and Tim. Okay,
Doctor, last
and
last last sorry doctor, last the photo session.
for photo session.
For the last,
Okay,
okay. Dr.
Dr.
Aziz,
Razif.
Muhammad Syafiq, okay. Okay, Dr. Aziz, can open the camera. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you, thank you.
Okay, thank you everyone.
Thank
And
you,
on
Chen.
behalf of the conference, I would like to thank each and every one of the presenter. And we hope that we can go to Thailand as well, and you can come to Penang as well, Dr. Mora. Okay, with that, I think stay safe and take care, everyone. With that, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr.
Assalamualaikum.
Thank you.
Kak
Thank
Kuncap.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you.
Bless.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you,
Thank you.
panels.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you,
Aziz.
Dr.
Thank you.
Nak tengok Dr. Razif baru buka tu.
Dr.
Ah.
Razif, thank you
Okay.
so much.
Okay, maybe one last
One last.
photo session.
Okay,
Yes,
last.
yes, one
Okay.
last one.
Okay, 1, 2. Okay. Okay, thank you, thank you.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you
you
very
very
much.
much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Maybe
Bye.
support team can share the picture at the WhatsApp group, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes, yes. Okay.
Much.
Thank
Okay.
See you
you.
guys
Thank
then.
you so
Thank you very
much.
much.
Thank you.
Assalamualaikum.
Yeah.
Salam.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi
Terima kasih,
wabarakatuh.
Dr.
Thank you.
Faiza.
Thank you.
Sama-sama.
Terima
Thank
kasih,
you.
Ayana.
Okay, habis dah session
Thank you.
kita.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you. Terima
Dr.
kasih.
Adilah
Terima
dari
kasih.
mana?
Thank you, Dr.
Poly,
Adila.
I'm
Terima
from
kasih Cik
Polytechnic.
Azizat, Cik
Muazzam
Hafiz. Terima kasih.
Syah Bahang.
Terima
Oh.
kasih.